Welcome to Lobster's list for July 26, 2013. Number 1. DwarfCorp is both a real-time strategy game and a comedic economy sim that draws inspiration from games like Dwarf Fortress and Roller Coaster Tycoon. Manage a company's expedition in establishing a colony and extracting resources from the land while facing dangers such as goblins, mole men, and the risk of unhappy dwarves going on strike. A hot air balloon on a time schedule exchanges goods back and forth between the dwarven homeland and the colony. If you achieve quotas such as mining enough gold for a period, your stock price rises. Missing too many quotas can cause a game over. The developers want to release the game for PC first, and if it reaches stretch goals, it could eventually be ported to Mac and Linux. You can pre-order the game, get your name in the credits, and get beta access at a limited availability $8 tier. Late backers can still pre-order the game at a $10 tier, and $20 backers additionally get access to a playable pre-alpha before the campaign is even ended, plus a download of the soundtrack. I've been following this game through its screenshot Saturday posts since June, and according to the counter on my profile page, this is the 600th project I've backed through Kickstarter. Number 2. Candle is a side-scrolling adventure game starring a character with a candle for a head. Fire will be part of solving puzzles, and the protagonist must be careful to avoid the flame being extinguished. The strong art style uses a hand-drawn look combined with dynamic lighting. There are some $10 early bird tiers, with a $15 tier after that to pre-order the game for PC. Its pitch video was very effective for being just 4 minutes in length. Number 3. Chroma Squad is an RPG about managing a television studio's production of a Sentai series. Sentai is a superhero show genre in Japan, with North Americans being familiar with the example of Power Rangers that used imported Sentai footage spliced with new footage that had American actors. Engage in strategic turn-based combat to create episodes and manage behind-the-scenes aspects of the studio like marketing campaigns and hiring actors. It supports PC, Mac, and Linux with the pre-order of the game at the $15 tier. iOS, Android, Ouya, and PlayStation Network may also get support. This is from the people that worked on the game Knights of Pen and Paper. Number 4. Tom vs. the Armies of Hell is a mix of comedic adventure game and isometric shooter. Play as an office worker who has had an arm replaced with a demonic one and must deal with his workplace having been relocated to a hostile dimension. He is also armed with a prototype weapon that can fire a variety of attacks, with the Ratchet & Clank series being one of this game's main inspirations. Target platforms are PC and Mac, with Linux and console versions as possibilities later. Contributing $15 can get you a pre-order of the game. Number 5. Balrum is a fantasy RPG with crafting and construction systems. Players are able to build a house and run their own farm in a world facing the threat of an undead horde. Non-player characters will visit your house to offer quests. While entering combat, the gameplay becomes turn-based, but when walking around the game, it is in real time. You can pre-order for PC, Mac, and Linux at a $20 tier. This game looks to be well thought out, and there are a lot of systems to read about on the project page, like a wound system or the chance of forest fires. Now on to honorable mentions. Space Shock is an RPG with turn-based combat and is using the Unreal Engine. It is compared to the first-person view dungeon crawlers like Legend of Grimrock, but with the sci-fi setting. There are 5 classes of characters planned, and there will also be the option to play a version of the game from an overhead view that makes it more like a tactics game. Backers forum access and a copy of the game for PC is at a £15 tier. Graphically, the game already looks great for a prototype, but with a large goal of £150,000, it is going to need a lot of backers to cover that amount. Sojourn is a roguelike RPG project with a £5,000 goal and a playable demo to download. Portions of dungeons are procedurally generated for increased replay value, while some important portions are pre-made. The developer also wants to implement strong modding support. £10 backers can pre-order the game for PC with beta access. Spacecraft Galaxies is a sandbox-style space game for PC where you can heavily customize your ship's design as its main selling point. The universe is procedurally generated. Ships are composed of parts like engines, fuel tanks, and weapons. An interesting part of its pitch video describes its blueprint system for people to share their creations. Even more interesting is the application of parts that serve as switches, with an example of a switch activating a laser aimed at a fuel tank to explode it. A copy of the game is at the $10 tier. Kingcraft for PC, Mac, Linux, and potentially mobile devices is a real-time twist on what is traditionally a turn-based combat system. It is influenced by Final Fantasy Tactics, but uses a cooldown-like system to make the battles more real-time. There is a playable demo out for both PC and Linux, with a pre-order able to be made at a $10 tier. Legends of Firestorm is an online browser-based hack-and-slash game with good use of soft colors in the visuals and strong-looking combat. Players can chain together combos with healer, DPS, and tank character classes. It is using a free-to-play business model, and at a £13 contribution you can get 200 units of in-game currency and a chance to play the beta. The developers talk about how they wish to prevent pay-to-win situations, and the reasons they decided to not implement an auction house. Insignificant for PC, Mac, and Linux is an open-world RPG with players experiencing what it's like to be a small 2-inch tall person in the backyard. The tinfoil armor and using items like forks as weapons are good touches, but the normal-sized looking grass textures broke the immersion for me. Pre-orders are $20 on this project. Last Jungle in Sector 17 is an open-world 2D space shooter for PC and Mac with a $10 pre-order tier that includes your name in the credits. Players will have to defend space stations, which can have defensive turrets placed on them. There is a demo which is linked to from the project page, so you can feel what the combat is like. This project has a relatively small $5,000 goal, and if it reaches stretch goals, then co-op and versus multiplayer modes will be added. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps those projects.